All I need is one mic, one stage. That's by Nas. It's your boy Fecko. And this is the Surviving Echo podcast. As you can tell, we're in Lagos. Can you guess where we are in Lagos? Anyway, they can't, right? I'm here with the legendary one and only GT the Guitarman. His guitar was here some few minutes ago. He had to take it inside, because we're not performing live, but this is a podcast, so we're keeping it strictly a talk show, type of concept. So, GT, for those that are just getting to know you for the first time, can you introduce yourself to the public?
My name is Olaolu Akigbogun, aka GT the Guitarman, and I'm a musician, a guitarist. I'm a conscious soul. I do all sorts. I call myself a god, and
Not a demigod, a god.
a god straight away with a capital G.
I thought it was a capital G, O, and D.
Yeah, capital everything. So that's basically me.
Okay.
Yeah. And for people who feel offended by me calling myself a god, the Bible said in so many places, it said, "Don't you guys know that you are gods?"
You're made in my image.
Yeah. So I'm a god.
Today we'll be talking about Lagos. Staying in Lagos as a creative. And first and foremost, how long have you been in Lagos?
Like all my life, really. I was born in UK, but I didn't even stay up to 2 years there. But for someone close to 40, you do the maths.
That's over 3 decades or close to 4 decades.
Yeah.
Mad. Well, for me, mine is 3 decades and some years, So Lagos has been an interesting ride for me personally. When I first moved here, I was based in the East, but I moved there when I was very little. Like, I think I was 2, 3, thereabout, and I grew up in Mushin.
Wow.
And for those that don't know, Mushin,
you don't look Mushin. you don't look Mushin at all.
a lot of people actually say that, and I don't know, how do people from Mushin look like?
And they look rough, Mushin people. Portable-ish. Yeah, they look portable.
They look portable-ish. If you don't get it, forget it. Somebody be thinking portable like they look,
and
but
they're ready to obtain you anytime. I think. But a lot of great actors have emerged from Mushi, like Wande Cole, and the likes. You should. Pasuma is from Mushi. Okay. How did you survive?
Okay.
I'm sure you've shared your own experience already.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to share mine.
Yeah, but just briefly, how did I survive? You have to relate with people in the hood, even though you feel like you're educated and a lot of people in your neighborhood, that doesn't make you feel so special or, make you look down on other people. Just try to feel at home, and that's what I try to do throughout my stay in Mushi. I'm somebody who is not easily influenced, so I could be there, but if I see people like doing all kinds of things, doesn't mean I'll also do what they're doing. Rather, I'll be the one who would influence them.
If I may ask, though, being Igbo, because of the narrative that's out there about the racism, the tribalism, how did you cope with the Yorubas there? Because obviously there must have been a lot of Yorubas there.
Personally, I don't think we had any. Okay, there were times where, in fact, I actually got into several fights. I'm not even going to lie. But it wasn't anything tribalistic at all. It had absolutely nothing to do with tribe. As a matter of fact, some people actually think I'm from Lagos, because of how I relate with everyone there. And my mom, she's very philanthropic, and everybody relates with her like easily. So we didn't have any of that tribal whatever. So that's why I'm actually surprised now when I'm hearing all these stories about. I never experienced that personally. Although I'll hear people say Omo Igbo, but it wasn't anything.
It's good to hear people like you share those experiences, because the narrative out there is that we hate each other. But I married an Igbo woman before I got divorced, and it was a good ride.
As a matter of fact, I think this should be the first topic of this podcast. To be honest, we didn't have any topic in mind when we started. We're just freestyling. As artists that we are now, we like freestyling now and then. So let's talk about this, sudden tribalism now that a lot of people are talking about. I heard there was a protest recently, people saying because a certain political party voted a certain political, I don't want to mention names.
Godfather in Lagos, they voted him out, obviously. and they must have attributed that to the influx of Igbos in Lagos. And I think people are forgetting that we are all humans, and we get tired at some point, and that must have been what triggered people to vote him out. It wasn't a tribal or racism kind of thing.
I absolutely agree with you, because in my polling units in Agor Palace, because I later moved from Mushin to Agor Palace before I moved down to the island. So a lot of people there too were talking about that particular political party, and it had nothing to do with tribe. They just wanted a change. They wanted difference. They wanted to experience something absolutely different from what they were used to in the past. And since the current party is not doing what we want,
we just wanted to vote them.
Exactly. So I don't see why people should now attribute this to tribe or anything. That has nothing to do with us. Even people from here actually voted that political
And the people
party.
driving the narrative, obviously, they're only playing politics, definitely.
So, but how do you think we can actually coexist together as a people in Lagos? Because what I was told growing up is that Lagos is no man's land. But first of all, do you agree with that? Does Lagos belong to any particular people?
Okay, as a god that I am, I think no part of this universe should I be called a stranger in. It's very demeaning for you to call me a stranger in any part of this universe. So really, I do not agree that Lagos is a no man's land. I do not agree that it belongs to anyone. It belongs to every one of us. That's how I see it.
I totally agree too, and I don't want to go back in history where we talk about Kosoko and we don't care about all that right now. Yeah.
But the fact is, that I grew up amongst Igbos, Hausas, amongst Muslims. I saw them as a part of my, and my best friend in primary school were Muslims. They were Igbos. So it's really strange to hear people say all these things now.
I also agree with that.
I think we are coexisting perfectly. I have my Igbo brothers in Alaba, in Ladipo Market. There's Richie Ozom, who I was his best man. In Anambra then. He got married maybe a decade ago. Oh, really? He got married in Anambra, and he found me worthy to be his best, to be called his best man. So I have a lot of Igbo friends and Hausa friends too. I have
let's not forget about let's not make it
I have people like Alaji Abba. I have people like Wali. There's a guy called Wali.
With all these names you're calling, they sound like they have a lot of money. Please come and sponsor our podcast. We are looking for sponsors and investors.
They don't even. It's not even like that. But the thing is, I have a lot of friends across Africa, across Nigeria, and I think it's the same with you too. So it's funny when we allow people to control the narrative for us, and they tell us that Igbos are some type of way, Christians are some type of way, Muslims are the crazy part is, at some point, just a little above 2 decades ago, we all celebrated when a man from Kenyan descent became the president of America, Obama. We celebrated, we were excited, but
most recently the UK Prime Minister.
Yeah, and so you see, when you now hear people talk about their fellow countryman, and they say, so it's ridiculous. Our politicians can do better. They are playing politics that, I understand that the people can't see it, but for conscious souls like myself and a lot of other people, we see the games that they are playing, and it's ridiculous. They need to stop.
Absolutely, they need to stop. And I was about to talk about how also I grew up amongst a lot of Yoruba people, outside people, even Ghanaians too, from my primary school days, and I never saw this whole tribalism thing. It's just now, and I think this thing has been rekindled by some of our parents, because I heard some of our parents are not over the whole civil war,
Yeah.
the whole Biafra thing. They still hold that grudge. So I think they need to actually, settle this amicably amongst themselves, and don't transfer that grudge to the next generation. So we don't also transfer it to the next
I totally
generation.
agree.
We need to break that cycle of hate. The sooner we do that, the better for the country, because I think there's room for everybody.
I totally agree, and to share a little experience. I mean, sorry to whoever might feel attacked, but I mean, I got married to an Igbo woman, and I went all the way to Anambra to do all the traditional rites, and it was beautiful. They accepted me, totally, but eventually you find out that this tribal sentiment keep playing out somehow. It's almost like a subconscious trigger, because obviously, like you said, they must have remembered the role that the Yorubas played during the Biafra war, or so we definitely can do better. Our parents can do better in making people understand that we are all God's children, and we've been loving ourselves. We shouldn't allow people to draw the narrative for us and tell us that this is what it should be, whereas we love ourselves. And
So did you vote during the presidential election? I know the gubernatorial polls is coming pretty soon, but if you did vote, how was the experience like? Do you think it was free and fair? For me, I don't think it was free and fair. I don't think it was free and fair, but I'd like to hear from you though.
I'm very happy that you said it wasn't free and fair. Clearly, we all saw that it wasn't.
Everybody saw it.
If they were interested in, I mean, as an IT person that you are, when someone says server, how do you feel? Maybe I should ask you that question. When someone says that there's a glitch in the server, how did you feel when you heard that?
Obviously, that means you're incompetent. You understand? It shows incompetence, basically. And once you have an issue with the server, it's flawed already.
And I also feel that an ordinary WhatsApp message, even WhatsApp could have, could have replaced that server thing. I mean, it wasn't more than snapping pictures of the results and sending to a central. It wasn't a big deal.
About that, so there was this on the the INEC portal was open to everybody. So I checked out the INEC portal, and there's a particular state, I think Ado Ekiti, sorry. Then inside Ekiti, Ado Ekiti, there was a particular polling unit, something Oba, something village house. I checked the uploaded result, and guess what I saw?
What?
I saw a selfie of somebody. They uploaded the selfie. I'm not capping, like I think I still have the video. So I saw a selfie of, I don't know who the person was, how come that picture ended up on the INEC, a whole INEC website. It shows incompetence, really. And then they're telling us that it was free and fair. Like, are they serious? Are they joking?
I think it's up to the youth to decide, because if the youth accept what they are doing, then it's okay.
It's okay.
If they accept it, it's okay. But if the youth say no, because we are the engine room of this country, some old men cannot just come from nowhere and say that they are the ones in charge. We are the engine room, and if the moment the youths understand this, these men will not have any reason to do shit. Because guess what? Who are the people guiding them? Who are the soldiers holding the guns and defending them? Who are the policemen? Who are even the INEC officials? Who are the people snatching boxes for them, ballot boxes for them? It's the youth. So the moment the youth keep accepting the bull crap, then good luck. I didn't vote, by the way, and criticize me, talk, shit. But as a God that I am, I always leave it to the people to decide.
I just like what you say, as a God, you just keep reminding people.
Yes, I have to remind them.
It's giving that Kanye West.
No, it's even not that. Okay. It's even not that. It's about, honestly, I have come to the point where I do not believe in democracy, because I know that it is a very flawed system. I think the opinion of the minority should count. The opinion of the minority should count. A system where you say, okay, 45% of the population said no, 55 said yes, and then you go with, that's crap for me. And what does it take to manipulate the results? It doesn't take anything. That's what they've been doing. That's what they just did, And so I really do not believe in democracy. I let the people decide. And the reason why is because I actually do not even have a favorite candidate.
Okay.
Respect to Peter Obi is the greatest amongst them, but I do not have a candidate, and I do not want to do any mini mani mo. Except you want me to be doing any mini mani mo, father as a donkey.
So you're saying all? Okay, I don't want to say all 3 candidates because we had like 4 major candidates.
None of them I wasn't interested in any of them. I wasn't
Why?
Interested. I just wasn't interested. I don't want my opinion to count, and I believe I should be able to have that reservation. I should be able to say, okay, I should be able to say that, okay, let the people decide, and that's what I've done. And the people, and obviously, I think I was right. The opinions of the people didn't still count.
True. And I think Burna Boy also shared the same school of thought as you do, because during the election, people dragged him online that he wasn't saying anything like other celebrities, and he just posted that INEC shouldn't do anyhow with the result, that make sure Nigerians actually decide who rules them. But unfortunately, I don't think it turned out to be what we expected, at the end of the day. But we are still watching. We don't know where it's going to go. We don't know the outcome of the court trials and everything.
Whatever the outcome is, as long as the youth accept it, then great. But if the youth, I do not believe that my vote should weigh the same as that of this boy snatching ballots, for example, ballot boxes, for example. I do not believe that my vote should weigh the same with someone who can sell his vote for 1,000 naira. And the situation is crazy. They have really handicapped the people with hunger.
They've weaponized poverty.
And as you can, we all witnessed what happened. They put the country in a total standstill. Everything wasn't working. Even those who would like to even move from point A to point B to vote, they were disenfranchised. And it was a deliberate thing. It was a deliberate thing. And again, if you are fighting or you are trying to vote against a party that controls, they know the amount of registered voters. They are the ones that still counted it, and they said we should trust them on whatever they tell us. It's a crazy country that we are in.
The state that actually amused me the most, I won't even say amused me the most, was Rivers State. So I think because Wiki was involved in everything, and the result was just crazy. Like, it's so unbelievable, and it was obvious. People said even if you wanted to rig with wisdom, because that rigging was obvious, that stuff was actually rigged. It was so glaring, but
Lagos was glaring. A young lady, a musician too, she used to be my neighbor. She came all the way from Lekki 1. And then she was like, GT, I'm going to vote. I'm coming to vote. Can you let me sleep at your place? And I was like, okay, why not? But she eventually slept at a neighbor's place. Okay. And then the next day when she was about going to Apollonius, I said, Ife, calm down. She wore this she wore this short nikah, and she was like, it's today. We are going to make sure that our vote counts. I'm like, calm down. This country... eventually she came back after like a few hours, sweating, with her clothes, everything soiled. And I was like, Ife, what happened? She couldn't say a word. They snatched the ballot box, they beat her. Wow. Yeah, they actually rough, and it wasn't like they rough handled her, they beat. When they say beat, they actually beat the living daylight out of her.